My name is Elfreda. Jonker. I'm the Client Portfolio Manager at Alphinity Investment Management. Today I have Trent with me. He's one of our global portfolio managers, and today we will be reflecting on the current reporting season for the fourth quarter of 2023, as well as looking specifically at the tech sector, which is Trent's speciality. So Trent, we are pretty much 2/3 way through the US reporting season. Are there any sort of bigger themes that you can highlight that you've picked up so far?
Yeah, thanks Elfreda. I think coming into the year there was a fair degree of optimism. I know expectations for EPS growth for the year are around 8 to 10%. If anything, what we've seen so far reporting season has been quite patchy. So the reports themselves have been good, but the outlook statements, they have been a little bit mixed. What we are seeing in terms of a high level theme is that those more cyclical and growth areas like communications, consumer discretionary and tech have been outperforming, while those more traditional defensive areas like utilities and healthcare have been a little bit more under pressure. But as always, there are nuances within those high level sector stories.
So we focus a little bit just on the tech sector. What were some of the nuances that you picked up there?
Yeah, look, in terms of tech, I think at a high level what we are seeing is tech spending is starting to come back. It's certainly not off to the races, but that real clamp on spending that we saw last year, it's just starting to release. Within tech particularly, the AI trade, in terms of the AI spend, is still well and truly on foot. And then also cloud, in part driven by a bit of AI inflection, is just starting to see some acceleration in growth. And you saw that through the Microsoft result where Azure grew 28% and 6 points of that came from those AI workloads. So more just in terms of AI and cloud are two areas in particular that have been performing well.
And I know you've had a good reporting season. If you have to pick and choose two to three stocks, which ones would you highlight as that's been really good?
Yeah, no, I think in terms of the really strong results, so first of all it was ASML, and it wasn't so much in terms of the numbers they reported, but the order book was huge, and the order book is what sets up what we expect for earnings into the back end of 24 and into 25. And they had a quarterly order book of 9.2 billion, which was a record. So you saw the share price react to that. That was quite strong. Also Microsoft, I mentioned, just very, very solid result. So right across the entire business, but particularly in that key Azure business. That 28% constant currency growth was a couple of points ahead, and that growth will continue for the rest of the year. I think the other thing to point out within tech is that with NVIDIA, it hasn't reported yet, but all the data points are stacking up for that growth to continue to be quite strong, whether it's the CapEx expectations from the major cloud players or Supermicro that does AI servers fed by NVIDIA having extremely strong results. We are seeing some evidence emerging that that demand is going to continue to strengthen from here.
So let's talk a little bit about NVIDIA and the rest of the friends in the Mag 7.
Yes.
So we've seen a bit of a bifurcation this year with a number of them falling and others doing well like NVIDIA. Can you share some of your thoughts around why that is happening and what's going on within the Mag 7?
Yeah, look, it's quite different this time around. So I think this year they won't move as an amorphous block. They all do have very different drivers, and we saw that come through in reporting season by the dispersion in results, but then also the share price reaction. So if I was going to stack rank them, Meta was a huge result. Ad spend was great, cost control was good, so that was more than likely the standout. Next rung down in terms of very, very strong results, Microsoft, as I mentioned, just mainly driven by that growth in Azure, but also Amazon was quite strong as well. Cloud was a little bit better, and then some of the e-com trends were also quite positive. Next rung down, Google. Google was okay. We would have liked a bit more in terms of the ad spend, particularly when you compare it to Meta, but the cloud business was performing quite well. And then we come to the two that we don't own. So Apple was actually, it was a miss in my eye. You're starting to see that competitive intensity pick up in China, and that is having a detrimental impact in terms of that forward outlook. And the poorest of the lot that we don't own, Tesla. So that was quite a weak result in terms of margins, in terms of volumes, and you saw the share price react quite negatively to that, to the point that people are now talking about kicking it out of the Mag 7, either making it the Mag 6 or replacing it with something like a Broadcom.
So definitely here to be quite selective within that Mag 7.
It is.
So thank you, Trent, and thank you for listening. For more information from Trent and the team, please visit alphinity.com.au. Thank you.